SRIRAM's IAS, serving the nation since 1985. अब offline हो या online, we are the lifeline.
हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू श्रीराम्स आईएएस। वेलकम टू दी अनदर कॉन्सेप्ट क्लास। अपन ने पहली कॉन्सेप्ट क्लास में पढ़ा था अबाउट प्रीएम्बल। अब दूसरे कॉन्सेप्ट क्लास में अपन पढ़ेंगे व्हाट इज दिस यूनियन एंड फेडरेशन इज ऑल अबाउट। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट। आई एम मयंक भारद्वाज। दिस इज योर कॉन्सेप्ट क्लास विच इज गोइंग टू हेल्प यू इन योर प्रीलिम्स 2025 एग्जामिनेशन। इसका डेट आपको पता होगा, प्रीलिम्स 2025 मई 25 को आने वाला है। लेट्स बिगिन दिस क्लास। तो अंडरस्टैंडिंग द यूनियन एंड इट्स टेरिटरीज आपने पढ़ा होगा। आर्टिकल नंबर 1 से लेकर आर्टिकल नंबर 4 तक इसके बारे में काफी कुछ दिया हुआ है। सेवरल थिंग्स मेंशन्ड फ्रॉम आर्टिकल नंबर 1 टू आर्टिकल नंबर 4। आर्टिकल नंबर 5 से सिटीजनशिप स्टार्ट हो जाता है, ठीक है। सो लेट्स कम टू आर्टिकल नंबर 1। इट टेल्स अबाउट द नेम एंड किसका नेम इंडिया। यहां पर देखिए आप, इंडिया दैट इज भारत इज द यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स, इट्स नॉट अ फेडरेशन। दिस टर्म हैज बीन यूज्ड, यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट। द टर्म फेडरेशन was not used, although India does have some qualities of federation, but the name federation was not used. The name union was used primarily for the reason that India was not the result of agreement between the state as was seen in the United States. This is the first reason. Second reason is that states in India cannot secede from the Indian Union because India is a union, and the union is indestructible, whereas the states are destructible. The states can be destroyed not in a negative sense. Destroyed means the boundaries can be shortened. One state can be bifurcated into two states. Name of the boundaries, name of the states can be changed. The boundaries of the states can be changed, and all of this can be done by the parliament. The parliament has an overriding power in destructing the states. It can make a new state, can bifurcate the state into two, change the boundaries, change the name, anything can be done, and the view of the state is not necessary. I mean, it is taken, the advice of the state is taken. The bill which is trying to form a new state goes to the state legislature first. Whatever be the advice of the state legislature in the stipulated time period which is allowed by the president to the particular state legislature, if the state legislature give its view in that stipulated time, then that view goes to the parliament. Now the parliament has an option to consider that view or to reject that view. Okay, so the whole sole authority and power in formation of state and destruction of state lies in the hand of parliament, because our system, the parliamentary system in India, is tilted towards the union. We have a sort of a amphibian character where the federation is there, but at times the federation turns into a union. It's a unique feature in India which is rarely seen in any other constitution of the world. Okay, so let us see what's written in the slide. States do not have the right to secede from the union. Now that's the reason why India is a union of state, not a federation. Territories are classified. Now how many territories, what kind of territories are there? If you see India, it has states, it has union territories, and any kind of territories which can be acquired by India in future. And this acquisition of territory can be done by several means, such as secession, such as conquest. Okay, there are few ways. We are going to study that also, how India can acquire the territories. Let's come to the second slide and see. Article number 2 talks about admission or establishment of new states. Parliament, here again the emphasis is on the word parliament. Parliament may by law admit into the union or establish new states. So there are two things which are given here. One thing, parliament can admit a territory into India which is not a territory of India. Okay, earlier that territory can be made as the territory of India by the parliament. Second thing, formation of state. the territory which is already the part of India, from there a state can be formed by the parliament. So these two important clauses are mentioned in article number 2. Now coming to article number 3. Now this is an important article which mentions the process through which an state can be formed, boundaries can be changed, or name of the state can be changed or altered. New states can be formed by separating a territory from a state. Let's say if this is a state, let's say this was the state of Madras, then in 1956 State Reorganization Act came. A part of Madras got transferred to Andhra Pradesh, another part of Madras got transferred to Bombay, okay, and this became Tamil Nadu. So these kind of things, bifurcating the state, giving one area of the state and making it part of another state, or if there is a big state, let's say Andhra Pradesh, bifurcating it into Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, all these things can be done by parliament. The advice of the state legislative assembly is not binding on the parliament in these matters. Merging of two or more states, uniting parts of different states, all these things can be done, but the power is with the parliament. Adding a territory to a state, all kind of variations can be made. Parliament can alter the boundaries, alter the names and areas of the state as well. State legislatures' view are considered not binding. So it can increase the area of a state, decrease the area of a state, divide the state into two parts, change the boundaries, change the name. All the possible things which you can imagine can be done by the parliament under article 3. No constitutional amendment required. So whatever changes which are being made in schedule 1 and schedule 4 of the constitution, schedule 1 talks about, it has a list of all the states and the union territories, whereas schedule 4 is about the allocation of seats in the in the council of state, the Rajya Sabha. So whatever changes which needs to be made in schedule 1 and schedule number 4 can be made under article 3. There is no requirement of invoking article 368 for this matter. Amendment through article 368 requires a special majority of the parliament, and there is another way, special majority with ratification of 2/3 of the state, or more than half of the state is required for making an amendment. Not 2/3, more than half of the state is required for making an amendment. In formation of these states or destruction of these states or changing the boundaries and names, anything which is done under article 2 or article number 3, you do not require article 368, or a constitutional amendment is not required. These things can be done by simple majority of the parliament. So much power has been given to the parliament in this regard. That is the reason why it is called, India is called as the Union of States. Let's come to the next slide. So key points on union territories of Jammu and Kashmir. See, Jammu and Kashmir was a state. Now Jammu and Kashmir, this is a part, just for your explanation, this particular slide has been added. Jammu and Kashmir has been divided into two parts. This part of Jammu and Kashmir has been made one union territory. Ladakh has been made another union territory. Jammu and Kashmir is a union territory with state legislature, with state legislative assembly, whereas Ladakh does not have its own state legislative assembly. So this was also done by the parliament, although several other changes were made, such as this article 370 was revoked. For that a constitutional amendment was needed, which was done. Now India's power to acquire, earlier we were talking about how India can actually acquire a territory. Means in article 2 we have read that whichever part which is not the part of the union can be made the part of the Indian Union, can be made the part of the territory of India by means of secession, conquest or occupation. These are the three things. Means if some other country gives to India, this is secession. We can take that particular territory and include it into the Indian Union. Or if India goes and conquests, it occupies some territory and then makes it a part of India, that can also be done. Like Sikkim, for example. Sikkim is one example. It was an associate state till 1974. Then it became in 1975 by the 36th Constitutional Amendment Act as a full-fledged state of India. Okay, so there was this Berubari case which says that in 1960, if any territory, Indian territory, has to be ceded or has to be given away to some other country, for that constitutional amendment is needed. If India has to acquire some territory through whichever means, through occupation or through conquest, then no constitutional amendment is needed. But if India has to give away its territory, then a constitutional amendment is needed. Similarly, a case came where with Bangladesh, several enclaves were exchanged. Exchange simply means some of the enclaves which were the part of Bangladesh became the part of India, and some of the enclaves which were the part of India became the part of Bangladesh. For this, because some of the Indian territory is ceded to Bangladesh, for this particular reason, an amendment is needed. Also, the Bangladeshi territory, which is now the Indian territory, people living in that territory has to be given the citizenship of India. For that also constitutional amendment is needed. So it has to be crystal clear in your mind. The concept for today is in the formation of state which are already the part of India. Okay, no constitutional amendment is needed. It can be done by simple majority under Article 3rd of the Constitution of India. Any territory which is not the part of the state but can be acquired by India in future, that can also be done without amendment under Article 368. Then, if you have to cede the Indian territory to some other country, for that constitutional amendment is needed under Article 368. I hope this thing is clear in your mind, and thank you very much for joining me in this concept class. We will be coming with another topic next time. Jai Hind.
SRIRAM's IAS, serving the nation since 1985. Ab offline, hoya online, we are the lifeline.